can sense it.
I know.
Like, when I was flirting with this guy, I was like, this fucking guy. And he has like a soft voice. He's got a soft body. Body. And he just, like, I was enjoying it, but I just felt it. I was like, oh my gosh.
I know. Welcome back to the first episode of Girls Gotta Eat ever recorded in a car.
In the back of the Mitsubishi. What is this, an Outlander?
Yes.
Florida plates.
Our mom, Bella, is driving us in the front seat.
We're sitting in the back. 5 stars, Bella.
Your DJ skills are amazing.
It's the playlist is from the coffee shop in Houston.
That's what we were listening to this morning too? Oh my God, yes. You guys. This playlist is unbelievable.
I worked so hard to get us this playlist so we could have it. Yeah, we'll tell you guys all about it. We're literally driving right now from Austin to Dallas. Yeah. Recording this full episode because Rita's got to get her titties done. It's a whole thing.
Yeah, we had 3 hours to kill. So we got some Chex Mix and hopped in the back seat. You know what's funny is like the seatbelt is like up around my neck, and I've never had like a light choking while we were recording.
It feels nice. I know. I'm like, I feel like I have a triple chin because I'm trying to get down on the mic. Just hold it.
Should I hold it? I want to look at you while we're recording.
All right, let's hold them, but don't get them too close. They're like the little lapel mics. I feel like I'm doing a TikTok. You know, they like do.
Do you think this is what Shaq feels like when he holds a microphone?
Why'd you have to bring up Shaq?
Ashley loves Shaq.
That's my guy.
So much.
Raina and I have an idea to do bonus episodes solo, but interviews of stuff that really is irrelevant to the rest of the topic. Like, I would interview Shaq
and LeBron.
Just me.
And LeBron. Do you feel like you could do it, or you freak out?
LeBron's been a little
problematic.
He's been a little weird about COVID.
Oh, he's like an anti-vaxxer?
I don't know. I think he got the vax. But he's been a little like he's said some weird stuff. Yes, he's been a little Rogan-y. But Shaq is an unproblematic king, and he has been forever. And and he lives in Atlanta. So I've had people are always. I had a couple opportunities where I thought I was going to meet him, and it just never worked out. But it'll happen. But he's getting old. I got to work on this.
I feel like you like excuses to go to Atlanta because you love it. That was the answer.
I just got to meet Shaq. Yeah.
I thought he lived in Miami.
He used to be on the Magic. Was he on Orlando Magic? He was on the Lakers. I mean, he's probably lived. Don't DM us if we're wrong. I'm not like that big of a stan. I like Shaq's outside of have you ever seen? I sent you that video. He was like at a red carpet premiere trying to get Joe Jonas's attention. He was like, "Get Joe." He's so funny.
Okay, speaking of wrong and don't DM us, I'm glad you brought this up because I have to make a statement.
Yeah,
guys, I meant to do this last week and I forgot. So 2 weeks ago, I said that Elizabeth Holmes had been sentenced to 20 years in prison. She was not. You guys are like with the news, and also half of us don't even know who that is. But I said that she'd been sentenced to 20 years. She wasn't. She was just. You tell me what happened.
Well, she got. Yeah, I was right. I was like, wait, she just was found guilty. She wasn't sentenced. Sentence doesn't happen. It's not. Real life is your verdict, and then you get sentenced later.
Mm-hmm. I got excited, guys. I jumped the gun.
Yeah. So anyway, thank you for your retraction.
Yeah. Anyways, we just had an amazing show in Houston on Thursday. We had an amazing time in Austin yesterday, and now we're driving to Dallas for these shows that we've been waiting to do for 2 years.
Yeah. So here's what's going. So we talked about on last week's episode, Raina's full breast reduction and everything. She still is pre-surgery, but we have to do this because
we fucked up all week.
Yeah. So. I'm still looking at the old titties right now.
They're still good. They have some good years.
They look great. No, I'm just saying.
Looking at these old titties.
I'm not, as this episode comes out, you will have gotten it. You know what I mean?
Had new titties. Yeah.
Yeah. So, and then as this episode comes out, thank you guys for coming out to Houston and Dallas. The Dallas shows tonight. We're sure it's going to be amazing. Great dancers and funny stories to share. But Houston was great. We had never been to Houston. First time, H-Town, Beyonce's hometown. We did a whole Beyonce themed show. We had drag queens and we were dancing. We really did it. It was really fun.
It was a blast. You guys were so great. I mean, so much of the show. This show was like improv, just bringing people up and joking. You guys are great. So thank you for coming. Yeah. After the show, we jumped in the car. We drove to Austin. We got there at 1:30 in the morning. Woke up. Just had the best day. We love Austin so much.
We really love it. We rolled up into the Soho House. 1:00 in the morning. It's our favorite thing. The Soho. Listen, I'm not trying to. like Soho House. I've never stayed in one. Like the rooms are so insane. So we just like stayed there so much and went to the pool, went to Torchy's.
Tried to go to Veracruz Tacos this morning. They said it was a 45-minute wait. We had to leave. But the men in Austin are unparalleled. I don't understand. Like, everyone is tall and hot and bearded. There's a lot of mustaches, and I didn't hate it.
Yeah, they're pulling it off. I mean, it is, of all the cities I've been to, it's the hottest guys I've seen. I will say, I've been to Austin a few times before COVID. I think that a lot of people came from LA and New York and just wherever, and that's like such a hot city. So I do think they've gotten a lot of transplants from the coasts, but whatever is going on, I'm here for it.
Wild. We were at a comedy show last night, Chris Stefano's comedy show, and every week we just talk about Chris Stefano's comedy shows.
Yeah.
And every single guy was just a smoke.
I know. Every guy, we'll talk about it, but I met a guy in Austin. He just came up to me at the pool. We chatted, we exchanged numbers, we've been texting. He lives 4 blocks away from me in New York.
What are the odds?
Like four blocks. Like it's crazy. I was like, okay, well,
and they just
see you in New York,
right
maybe, I guess. Yeah.
Which never happens in New York either. No one ever just approaches me cold.
But he's in New York. It was weird. But his friend lived in Austin. His friend was probably leading the charge of that one.
Yeah, his friend got weirded to me. I was talking about this earlier. It's so crazy when I am talking to somebody and it's just like a normal casual conversation talking about business and food, and they just like make this hard left into sex territory. And I don't know where it comes from. And you're like, how does this keep happening to you? And I don't know where people think the door is open, because I'm not doing anything. Like, I was just hanging out and I was talking about going to culinary school and cooking, and he was like, what would you cook me for breakfast?
That's so crazy.
It's like the record screech. You're just like, wait, what? And I was trying to sidestep it, and then he doubled down. I was like, I like cooking breakfast. He's like, well, you'll be pretty exhausted from me giving it to you all morning.
This is crazy.
We'd fuck 3 times, and then you could give me a massage. I'm like, I'm also giving you a massage. He's like, yeah, well, I've done so much for you in this scenario. I'm like, are you insane?
Literally dirty. He's playing out his porn fantasy
in front of you and Bella and his friend
midday at the pool. Broad daylight.
No one had more confidence than this 5'5" man in jeans that had zippers all over them. He had 2 zippers on his knees.
On the knees, where your holes would be.
Only one knee was unzipped.
Also, the fact that Bella, we just took up a lot of space in the Soho House. That not that many people were there. We're on the pool deck. It was 75 degrees. It was perfect. So I was reading a book. So Bella's in between the two of us. These 2 guys come over. His opener to you, zipper pants, short zipper king. Was he goes, "What do you work? Why are you working on Friday?" Because it was probably 4 p.m.
Oh, that was his opening line, which I really liked. Yes.
Yeah. So he's like, "Why are you working on Friday?" Which, listen, it worked out how it should have, but he was whatever. His friend was way hotter. He was 6'4", and I was like, "Yes, I get that one."
It worked out for you how it should have.
We're okay. It worked out for me. No, he was cute. So basically this short zipper king sat down next to you, and the friend comes over and he's standing, and I kind of he asked me what I was reading. I was like, a book about teenage influencers. He was like, are you an influencer? I was like, yeah. It just got weird. Bella's giggling, and then he sat down next to me. We're laying on these beds, and this guy was hitting on you or whatever, and Bella's in the middle just hearing both sides of it. And it took a minute to get warmed up with the guy I was talking to. At first I was like, oh my gosh, this is pulling teeth. He's more shy.
Well, he's so beautiful. He's never had to learn how to interact. The other one's short, so he's had to learn how to interact with people in his life.
But then I kind of liked it. He started to ask me more questions. I was saying I love LA. He was like, why do you love LA? He was like, what's the worst date you've ever been on? We kind of started to get there, and then we just started joking about other stuff, and I just thought it was funny for Bella to be in the middle and hearing both sides of us flirting. Were you flirting, would you say?
I was at first. I was really enjoying the conversation, and then somebody just took such a hard turn. And listen, I when he started the sex stuff, I tried to be polite, and then I just excused myself to go to the bathroom. I'm not fucking sitting through this. I don't know what gave you an idea that we are in sex conversation territory, but we're fucking not. And I don't care what you look like, by the way. This has nothing to do with how short he is. I don't want somebody bringing up fucking me 3 times and then me giving you a massage and me cooking you breakfast. I already see where this is going. It's a terrible relationship. And Ashley's like, what else has happened to you? I was like, I literally don't know. So I got up and left.
With some titties.
And then I saw, by the way, another guy who I was in love with all day.
You have to back up, Raina, because I love your
not that yet.
Oh.
So I see him walk by, and I'm like, oh my God, he's going to think that I'm I'm with Short Zipper King. And so I have to get up and go. So I got up and went to the bathroom. Because I was like, it's fine. There was a guy that was in the lobby that I will tell you about later that I like fell in love with in the lobby. I acted like a lunatic.
What's later? Let's do this now.
Okay. But I want you to finish your story. But okay, to back up, when we first got to Soho House, I saw this guy sitting on this couch and he was like working, and I got in the elevator and I was like looking at him, and then like we were talking, and every time I said something he made eye contact, and as the elevator was shutting I like peeked out one more time and he like caught me and you yelled go to the pool.
Yeah, go to the pool. So as the elevator's closing, Raina's like following the door so she could get like through the crack as it closed. She goes, go to the pool. And I was like, listen, I've watched Raina like master this thing in the elevator. Like the one time we were in Montreal, she talked to this guy in the elevator, fucked him that night. So she can get it done. So I
master this elevator.
So like I'm good at fucking dudes in elevators. Most people wouldn't think like a 5-second interaction in a hotel would lead to anything, but it does for you. So I was like, he'll probably come up to the pool. She'll probably get it done again. So he does come up to the pool. He's so hot.
So hot. And I see him like take up his own space. And then I see him walk by and Short Zipper King is with me and he's like really flirting.
Okay.
And at first I'm like, maybe it's fine that he wears zippers on his pants and he's 2 feet tall. Like it's fine.
He seemed interesting. You had a mutual connection.
Yeah,
somebody who's very successful that he's connected with.
Yes. Yeah. And I was like, he's interesting probably. It sounded like he went to a good college. What he does for a living is interesting. He's into food. So, and he has a great head of hair. And so I was like, all right, maybe I can change your jeans.
Yeah. I'm sorry, but zippers on the knees. And then again, Raina, the friend, let's back up, because like Raina can't see for shit, and she keeps saying she like has glasses, but we've seen them once, and I don't even know if they have actual lenses in them. It's the whole thing.
I have astigmatism, and I can't.
Well, you don't wear contacts or glasses, and you should never be driving us around. And Bella and I have decided. So you go. So his friend, the guy that I was talking to, 6'4" King, Raina points across the pool, the friend that's with Short Zipper King, and goes, why is he wearing a suit jacket? He was wearing a denim shirt. Like, he was wearing a denim, like, chambray shacket. Raina said, why is he wearing a suit jacket at the pool? We were like, bitch, if you don't go to the eye doctor.
I have like 5 pairs of glasses at home.
His suit at the pool. I'm like, he's wearing denim. It was funny because he came when he came over, because it wasn't like a hot, steamy day, but I don't think they thought they were going to end up at the pool, right? So he's laying next to me on these bed things. I go, do you feel weird wearing black jeans and boots at the pool? He was like, I do, actually. Boots at the pool.
Boots at the pool.
Big black boots at the pool. And then I like pull up his hinge.
So I think Ashley's into him, and then I look over and I just hear her go, "Is that what your body looks like?" And I'm like, "What are you doing? Let me see." I'm like, "Let me see his body." So she passes me the phone. I'm looking at it. I'm like, "What are you doing?" She's like, "I'm looking at his Hinge profile." I'm like, "Is this how you write game on dudes?" You're like, "Let me see your Hinge profile."
He reluctantly showed it to me. I do think that's like a flirty thing to do. Like, we're not dating. I just met you. We're obviously on the apps, but
totally.
When he asked me, "What's the worst date you've ever been on?" I was like, "How much time do you have?" You know. So I was just telling him, I was like, I feel like I went on a string of like bad dates during like COVID. You know, when I'm outside, I'm in this tents, and then I told him about Michael Jackson voice guy.
So I heard you mention that guy. Yeah. I was like, what is happening over there?
So we started talking about voices, and I was like, I was a pioneer of this whole voice catfishing thing. Then he brought up Hinge doing voice memos, and I was like, they got it from us. and I was like, let me see your Hinge. He was very reluctant, and he was like, it's not funny, like whatever, because at this point he knew I did comedy, and I actually didn't mind it. Everything was pretty on point. So I was like, but one picture he had his shirt off. It wasn't like a selfie. It was like, it was good. It was fine. It was because I don't love a guy with their shirt off on a dating app, but he looked good. And I was like, zoom in. I go, is this your body? And Raina perks up. She goes, wait, what's going on over there?
Because the
Zipper King's talking about fucking you.
Zipper King's talking about fucking me. I'm like, you're never going to fuck me. Maybe this guy will. Also, what else was on the jeans? How do we describe? There was like ruching and patches on the jeans.
Those jeans were unreal. Like, what man sees zippers in like the knees and is like, I gotta have those?
When he came over so when he was across the pool, only one knee was unzipped. When he came back over, both knees were zipped.
She's laughing too hard.
Both the knees were re-zipped, and like while we were talking, he unzipped both of them. Like, let me get a little more comfortable.
Let me get a little breeze on my knees.
And I look at it and I go, how do you decide like which knee to zip?
I'm bummed that he like got too sexual and comfortable too quick, because I would have liked to. I love the Zipper King for you.
Zipper King. I find, listen, it definitely happens to be more than your average person probably, but like I didn't open up the door. The only thing I can think is that he said, what are you working on? And I told him what you and I do for a living. And you know, when I say that like you and I have a show about like dating and relationships, maybe people feel like the door is open a little more. So I want to be like open-minded that maybe somebody thought the door would be open a little more. But I will say it's just gross and I don't like it. Yes, that's what it is. It's misplaced. It feels weird.
And you're talking about having sex with somebody. Like, this is crazy.
Yeah, and also like I lead, and if I don't bring it up, like you don't get to bring it up.
Come off like a fucking creep.
Yes, like a creep. And I'm like, you're talking like a pretty big game too, buddy. You're gonna fuck me 3 times in the morning. I'm gonna come all these times. You don't know anything about me.
Short Zipper. Okay, so meanwhile, to set the scene,
the real love that I had was across the pool.
So let me say, this guy is so her type. Bald, great body.
Bald with a mustache, you guys.
Just really good looking, tall, Texas energy, in a good way. Like he didn't look like a New York guy or LA guy. Like he was from Texas originally. So you had friends there, more your friends. We went over and hung out with them. And can I just tell you that you'd been eyeing this guy from across the pool. When we go over and we're talking to these friends, so it's like 5 of these really fun people, we start talking about Raina's guy. We can see him. He's close by, but he's on a call, so we didn't want to bother him while he was on a call. He has like AirPods in. And they told me something that I can't believe I missed, and I still can't believe it. They said that he had just, within the hour, had done a cannonball into the pool. And I'm sorry, how did I miss a cannonball at the Soho House? No one's in the pool. You're not supposed to do cannonballs there. How did I miss a cannonball? I was like, there's no way he did a cannonball.
No. The pool at the Soho House, no one gets into the pool. Like only the boldest of the bold. Like once, listen, you and I got in the pool once.
Well, you can get in the pool, but you're not doing cannonballs. You're not doing a handstand contest.
There's no kids.
Francis Ellis he held his breath underwater. He got in trouble. I heard someone get in trouble for doing a backstroke one time. Like it's chill. So I was like, was I that into the other guy I was talking to that I missed someone do a cannonball in his pool?
100%.
And they swore he did it. So I was like, we were trying to think of Raina's opening line. So I was like, Raina, you know, this is your last weekend with your titties. Like when he walks by, I feel like you need to say, what do you think of these cannonballs? But you took a different direction.
Well, wow, that was insane. What happened was insane. So he was sitting by himself and we're like all clearly talking about him. He's, I don't know, 6 yards away.
I don't know.
Definitely
knew, he was close. I feel like, yeah.
He was really close to us. It was like, I think it's really sexy. He was working at the pool. He was clearly on like work calls. He was like having a beer and a pizza. And my girlfriend, Olivia, was like, you know, it'd be funny if we send him a pizza after he finishes the pizza. And I was like, okay, I love that move. I want to do that someday.
That's funny.
But he finished his drink and he was like, clearly his cause. We're all looking at him. There's like 9 of us looking at this guy. He's being so cool about it. And I'm like, how do I get his attention? I see him put his shirt on and I'm like, oh my God, it's like happening. I need to like figure out how to get this guy's attention. It's like bubbling up inside of me. My girlfriend had these flowers. She's like, go take him a rose and say like, will you accept this rose? I was like, oh my God, what I do? So he gets dressed. He like stands up. He walks by and just out of my body, I just Tourette's syndrome screaming up, do you want to hang out with us?
Well, you go, hey. You were like, hey, which is fine. A hey is fine. And then he turns and you go, do you want to hang out with us? And then he was, I mean, I thought he like rejected you. I was like, oh my God, this is awkward. Because he was like, no, I'll be back, which is like what you would say if you're leaving and you're never coming back.
Yeah, of course. He like stutter stepped a little bit. Was like, I'm going to change and I'm going to change. I'm going to be back. And
he did come back.
He did come back. And I was impressed. He like held his own in front of everybody. I mean, there's like 9 people rapid firing questions at him.
Drinking, yeah.
We asked him about the cannonball. I asked him about the cannonball.
Did he deny it?
He denied it. He denied the cannonball.
Called him a cannonball denier.
Yeah.
So I'm still so. Hey, he said I didn't do a cannonball.
He said I didn't do it. He refused to acknowledge it.
But all these witnesses had said he did.
All these witnesses, there was 9 people saw you cannonball, sir, except for me and Ashley. Bella, did you see him cannonball?
No.
I find it hard to believe.
Bella was reading. But it's not about seeing it. It's about hearing it. You hear a cannonball.
Hear it. So they said that he cannonballed, popped up, and like looked left and right and was kind of like smirking, like he was proud of himself. He wanted some acknowledgement of the cannonball. And I was like, that guy fucks. That is a fun guy.
I love it. Yeah, let's be clear. We support the cannonball. even though he's denying it. Well, we'll get to it.
So he comes back. I was like, he's pretty cute. I don't know. I still felt like he was a little bit, not neggy in front of us. I felt like I was kind of trying to joke around with him and he like wasn't really getting into it.
Like, listen, there is a thing that people do if they kind of are just like the worst and they neg you if you're a comedian in a weird way. They'll just be like, oh, you are. Like, it's either they think it's so cool or they get a little weird, and like you never want the latter. Like, once you tell people like I'm a performer, I do comedy, like usually the response of a cool person is like, wow, that's so awesome. Not like, you know, anything that feels like challenging, you know, like they're challenging you or something.
Yeah, I felt like it was very much this like, you better impress me, dance for me, clown.
Yeah.
But I was like, what are you doing
you
tonight?
Think you're funny? Yeah,
right.
Like weird stuff like that.
So I was like, what are you doing tonight? I said that we were going to this comedy show. He was like, well, I have soft plans. And Ashley goes, we prefer hard plans.
I said, like, kind of under my breath, I was like, we prefer hard plans. And he didn't hear it. But then when he asked, then Raina repeated regurgitated to him. Yeah. So I was like feeding her lines.
I was using my ears on the date. And I was like, we're here for one night only. So like, give me your hard plans. And he was like, okay, so we should like exchange information, whatever. He like gave me, and he was like, he wanted to give me his phone number. I think I must have pulled up my Instagram, and he's like, oh, you're like an Instagram, you prefer Instagram. I was like, yeah, sure. So listen, I want somebody to go to my Instagram and look me up and see all these videos of me. So later on in the night, I sent him, I don't need to like wait for somebody. We're there for one night. I was like, okay, I'm trying to like go have a drink with this guy, get 100%. It in a little bit. So I decided to open up with like a cute line. I said, for the record, I didn't think it was a cannonball. It's nice to meet you, winky face.
Yeah.
He waits like 2 hours and writes, thanks for clarifying. I was super concerned. Also winky face. So I was like, okay, like kind of rude, but it's like a winky face, fine, whatever. And I said, I'm glad I didn't ruin your evening. Then he says, tell me a joke. Ugh. To which Ashley said, right back, send me your dick.
So, yes, I said, right back, show me your dick, LOL.
Which now I wish I would have.
And then that was my first thing. My other thing was, you say knock knock. He says, who's there? You show a picture of your titties. And then Chris DiStefano
We're with Chris. So I'm like crowdsourcing a response to this guy. So it's me and Chris, and I'm like, what do we say back to him? So I'm crowdsourcing jokes to say back to him. Honestly, if it was a guy in New York and I was gonna I could see him, and I would never respond to that. I think it's super rude. Like, tell me a joke.
No, it's there's nothing worse for a comic. Tell me a joke. Like, we hate it.
It's so rude.
So Chris goes, say Joe Biden's presidency, which Chris is, what his politics, who really knows? He's not like a Trump supporter.
No,
it doesn't matter.
It's very Texas specific.
Yeah, so I said, no, say Joe Biden won the election. And we start dying. I'm like, if he gets it, I knew he wouldn't. I knew deep down. I was like, he's not going to even respond in a funny way. But I was like, just do it anyway. We were gassing you up.
Yeah, I felt like most people would get it and laugh about it. Like you meet me, I'm like a girl from the Northeast. I'm clearly Jewish, Greenberg, whatever. So I thought he would think it was funny at least. And I said, Joe Biden won the election. That's my Texas themed material. It crushes. And he writes back, does it though? Ugh. ? And I was like, for this reason, I'm out. This is so rude. I really don't like being nagged. It's like, you couldn't have just laughed a little bit and been fun about it. You're not my guy. Listen, you're not my guy.
No, he wasn't. Yeah, I'm so annoyed. He just wasn't cool enough. So didn't work out, but you still tonight in Dallas.
And then your guy texted you. He was being cute.
He was being cute. Yeah. We'll see. Okay. We are going to keep this conversation going. We have such a fun, funny car topic. I feel like we're very on a road trip discussing things. That's kind of what we went with today. Okay, I am telling you about Daily Harvest. We love Daily Harvest so much, and as always, we want to thank them for their support. You can go to dailyharvest.com/GGE to get up to $65 off your first box. This is something that truly changed my life when I started using it years ago. At this point, it is a part of my daily routine, no pun intended. I really do have a smoothie almost every single morning. I do the harvest bowls, the flatbreads, the dessert bites. We love it so much. Everything is built on organic fruits and vegetables delivered right to your door.
I always get my delivery on Tuesday and I'm ready to go for the week. Everything is easy to prep, made within minutes. I did a power ranking of the smoothies recently. I did number 5 was strawberry and peach. Number 4 was strawberry cashew. Number 3 was avocado and greens. Number 2 was banana almond. Number 1 was my mint and cacao. So those are my top 5.
You know, she's a mint and cacao girl.
I am. I have a mint and cacao smoothie every single Monday, but truly so great for lunch and even dinners too. We love these Harvest Bakes. They have these new grain bowl things that I'm obsessed with. They come in a bag. They're so easy just to pour into a pan and heat up on the stovetop. Minutes, again, ready in minutes. There's no cooking involved and everything is going to make you just feel really good. And again, so easy. So we love it so much. And eating delicious, nourishing, and easy to prep meals has never been easier thanks to Daily Harvest. Go to dailyharvest.com/GGE to get up to $65 off your first box. That's dailyharvest.com/GGE for up to $65 off your first box.
Well, should we talk about other shows?
Yeah.
Do you have anything?
So I have been stalking stuff to watch while I'm home. And I will say, I mean, I'm not sure how the recovery will be, but the doctor has assured me it'll be like 3 days, then I should be up and moving around. But I am trying to stay home, I guess, for like 5 or 6 days. So I'm banking episodes of Vanderpump, Real Housewives, Sex and the City, and I think that's it right now. And Yellow Jackets.
Yes. So we were told to watch Yellow Jackets. Cheer season 2 came out. Haven't watched Cheer yet.
Haven't watched it.
So you love Cheer,
loved
right?
it. Yeah.
I love that. I'm going to watch that. And then, so I started Hype House. Raina talked about it last week. I feel as though I disagree with Raina so far, but she says that it gets like darker towards the end. So I felt like I was expecting it to feel more dark, to feel like all these kids were broken, and I just didn't feel that way. Like, I feel like you made it sound like it was really going to be so bad. I feel like I've seen 3 or 4 episodes. They're not even making content. They're just kind of hanging out. Like, to me, it feels like any other reality show that just so happens to be social media based. Like, it's not that dramatic. Like, you can tell they're kind of manufacturing drama just the way they used to on The Hills or anything like that. So you said you think I'll come around and it feels darker towards the end, but we felt like the D'Amelio show felt so like to me at this point of watching it. Yes, they're talking about getting canceled and stuff like that, but it doesn't feel depressing and it doesn't feel like these kids are like ruined from social media. Like it felt like the D'Amelio. So it feels like they're not reading negative comments. Like it doesn't. I feel like I haven't seen this like dark side of social media on the show. It just seems like they're hanging out at this house.
Yeah, the second half is a lot darker and they talk a lot more about getting canceled and just feeling like they can't have like normal personal relationships with anybody. And it feels like all these kids, their relationships are transactional. And I mean, feel sad and they're 19 years old and it's just like nobody should have to deal with that stuff at that age. It felt really sad. You'll finish it.
I'll see. They feel like real friends though. Like they don't feel like they're just like, I'm only friends with you because you're good for my social media. Like they seem like they're real friends. They seem like they have like real friendships.
Some of the friendships seem real to me. I think you have to form relationships with people like that when you're at that level because who else could ever understand what you're going through? It's just like you and I love traveling together, working together because like my life is so specific. You're the only person that can ever understand it.
Yeah, I mean, listen, I may or may not finish it. I don't think it's like that. I'm not like dying to finish it. I'm not like, oh my God, what happens next? Like, I think it's good. I'm not like, I don't know. So that's my assessment now. We're probably both right. Also, it's an opinion thing. It's subjective, but I just don't know. I'm not like so into it. I feel like I'm just going to like kind of abandon it and probably watch Cheer, you know?
Mm-hmm.
So anyway, that's still a recommendation. I don't know. I don't think, again, I think we have like 1 or 2 more episodes left of And Just Like That. And then we'll review the whole thing. I just feel like I want to rip it to shreds weekly, but it's just, we can't be like a Sex and the City or we can't be like a podcast. It's just about that, but it just keeps getting worse. It's like an abomination.
I feel like, and I've hesitated to do this. I want to keep like a running doc about like every episode, why I hate all of it. And somebody said something, I don't remember if it was an article I read or somebody wrote us an email about it, that it's like, it might be a misstep, but at least they're like addressing these things like cultural appropriation and being non-binary, and that it might be a little forced, but at least they're doing it. I don't know. I don't think they're doing any favors to people by making it feel so forced.
Yeah.
There's a way to write content that feels natural.
Yeah, 100%. We always talk about how we love inclusivity of shows these days. Show feels bad. That is like, I'm talking about the plot lines, the writing, like aside from that, like they just, whatever. We don't need to get, we do this every time. And then I usually end up cutting it.
We've had to cut it so many times.
It's still bad is all I'm saying.
Every week, just so you guys know, I get worried that it's going to get good. Ashley told me she watched it yesterday. My first question was it good?
Carrie went on a date, which I didn't hate, but it wasn't.
that's the bar for this show. There was 10 minutes I didn't hate.
Yeah, exactly. Okay.
Well, actually, speaking of, I'm glad we talked about Hype House because a lot of those boys are soft boys.
Soft boys, what we're talking about today.
So we heard this term. You introduced me to the term soft boys, and then I went deep on the internet, and I feel like I didn't know what it was, but they described it. We will describe it to you guys. You guys gave us funny stories, and we're going to talk about what it is, how to spot them. This is such a funny term. So why don't you explain a little bit what it is?
Sure.
And then we'll tell you how to spot them and look out for them.
The way it came up actually was because I was flirting with a soft boy recently. He was really fun to flirt with, and I just knew he was a soft boy. And then I was chatting with another friend who I never realized that they hooked up, and I was like, did you guys have sex? I can't imagine him having sex. He's gonna look deep in your eyes and then leave you after and never talk to you again. You know what I'm saying? And she goes, yeah, I got the vibe he was an emo ghoster. And I go, you mean a soft boy? That was another alternative term. That just came out of her mouth. I was like, emo ghoster is very funny. Because it is. It's the guy that's gonna look deep in your eyes.
Maybe cry a little bit.
Maybe cry a little bit. And then never talk to you again. Okay, so I just pulled this. I mean, there's various articles and whatnot, but I like this Glamour. I think it's from the UK, Glamour UK, but pulled straight from this article, and we can link this too. It says, described by Urban Dictionary as a fuckboy, but without the cocky attitude, the soft boy appears to be emotionally literate. Yes, the bar is low, and is attuned to his and your feelings. He, again, is usually he, replies promptly to texts, listens carefully to your problems, and genuinely, sorry about the reading, guys, we're bumpy in the car, listens carefully to your problems and genuinely seems like an all-around good person. But like his fuckboy cousin, he's prone to leaving a trail of broken, not to mention baffled hearts in his wake. Yes, there are plenty of men who are just genuinely kind, emotionally mature people, but the reality is soft boys do exist on the modern dating scene, and they're master manipulators. By using a caring pretense, they manipulate their romantic partner into doing exactly what they want. So this is the thing. It's not about crying, being emotional. It's kind of an act.
Yeah. So part of this is positive. It's a rejection of toxic masculinity, which I like. It can be. I love that we're teaching men to cry, to be emotional, to be attuned with women's rights and your body. And I love that that's what we're teaching men today, and we're not shitting on that. It's when they take that and they weaponize it against you to act like a fuckboy anyways. They're they might act like this. Listen, Lil Huddy looks like
Lil Huddy,
the softest soft boy. He has no definition in his arms. Everyone from...
It's also yes.
Everyone in K-pop.
Soft boy also can translate to soft body.
Yeah, soft body. I think the visual is Timothée Chalamet.
That's the visual. Also, why is Lil Huddy? Why is it Lil? That's a rap thing. Just call yourself Chase Hudson. I'll never get over this.
Well, maybe. Okay, here's my. He's my theory. It's Hudson is his last name, and when he was growing up, kids in school were just Lil Hudson, and maybe he's a brother that's big Huddy and Lil Huddy.
It feels like rap hip hop that that's where you usually see a Lil, and it's so weird because isn't his music very emo Machine Gun Kelly vibe?
Very emo. He lives in a Victorian looking mansion.
His mansion. When someone said it's like a cheesecake factory, I was like, nothing's ever been more accurate.
100% with 100 different game ball machines.
You guys gotta watch Hype House just for the decor. Anyway, Lil Huddy, Chase Hudson,
Timothée Chalamet, Lil Timmy.
So yes, you said it earlier. Drake is a soft boy.
So Drake is the definition of a soft boy. He is so soft, and he's such a little fucking fuck boy.
Yeah. I mean, he can seem a little harder here and there. I mean, he's a rapper. I feel like just recently people started to realize he was a fuckboy, but it's you can't actually fully call him that. So he's kind of king of the soft boys.
He is king of the soft boys. That's what it is. If you're it took me a minute to fully come around to the definition of this because it's guys in Brooklyn. That's what it is. I feel like there's not a lot of guys in Dallas that are soft boys. People in Texas are I cannot relate.
There's not a Texas soft boy.
If you've driven past Brooklyn, you know what it is.
I hate it, honestly, and I hate it. And we'll get to some of we'll read some of your definitions. But I, of course, want a guy that's emotionally mature, has EQ, is attuned to his own feelings and my own. A feminist, of course, but it does when it feels like it's it's not authentic in a manipulation to make women believe they're a certain way and they're not. It's like really gross.
I love that we're teaching men to be more like attuned to women and like a little bit softer and emotionally adept, but they're like, I'm still gonna find a way to be a dick.
Yeah, so that's kind of the definition. Some of you guys didn't. This is not so mainstream. Like, we asked you guys to define it on Instagram. Some of you did. Some of you just said it was like a sensitive guy, but that's not what it is.
Yeah, so
I guess you could whatever definition you want to use. Like, this is an Urban Dictionary word at the end of the day. Like, this is a very like new age word, but we're not talking about just straight sensitive guys. Nothing wrong with that.
I think actually I'm really attracted to sensitive guys. Like, I feel like when I look at the spectrum of masculinity and somebody who's like really tough and not in touch with their emotions, not in touch with mine, like I don't like it, I don't want it. Like, I've always said I've been a little more attracted to people that skew a little more feminine emotionally. Like, my last boyfriend like was really in touch with his emotions. He wasn't a pussy or a soft boy. He just like was like that. Yeah. It's like guys that have a lot of sisters or were like raised by an only mother, a single mother. Everybody was raised by an only mother.
An only mother. Yeah, and I do feel like I can kind of spot it because they have that like fuckboy veins running through them.
I know.
Are we good? They've got fuckboy blood running through their veins. You know, like you can sense it.
I know.
Like when I was flirting with this guy, I was like, this fucking guy, and he has like a soft voice. He's got a soft body, body, and he just like I was enjoying it, but I just felt it. I was like, oh my gosh.
I know. You can listen. You can just sense it. I think that now that you guys know it, it's not someone who's sensitive and a pussy. It's like somebody you can tell is like full of shit.
Yes.
They're like smelling their own farts. They're just like so full of their own bullshit.
I feel like they have an interaction with a woman and like she is like really into it and you know they're really connecting and he walks away and he's like, got her. You know what I mean? Yeah. I tricked her again.
I know. And like I think that like some of them might not know what they're doing, but like it's the majority of them like know what they're doing. They're doing it on purpose. Again, they're like weaponizing this wokeness against you.
Yeah. Should we go through the one-liners of what our audience said? Okay, let's talk about soft boys' correct answers. Although we got a lot of incorrect answers from you guys. It's not your fault. You didn't know.
Yeah, I appreciate that so many people Googled this.
Yeah.
But okay, we'll dive into some of these. Beanie Boys.
Just because you wear a beanie doesn't mean you're a soft boy, but all soft boys wear beanies.
And a lot of fuck boys do too. I saw a guy at the pool yesterday wearing I am a fuck boy. I'm trying to be a fuck boy. We saw a guy at the pool yesterday, 75-degree weather, wearing an orange beanie, bright orange.
That guy's body language, like, listen, I sprawl out. I love to sprawl. This guy was sprawled out on his stomach eating. So he was kind of
up. I couldn't get over it.
He was up in like Sphinx pose. If you do yoga, you know this. Like he was eating. That has got to be tough on the lower back.
I don't know how you eat laying down.
That was a weird way to lay and eat.
I know. But yeah, I'm a fuck boy because I don't love anything more than an orange beanie.
I went for Christmas. That had a picture of Kermit on the front drinking tea.
I love it. I love this one. This is like the exact definition. Asked me to split the bill because he believes in equality.
I mean, I don't know. Yeah, listen, like, it's a funny thing. We want equality. We want to be equal, but then we still want men to pay for stuff. Like, I mean, but if a guy's like, I want to split the bill for your equality, I feel like it's a little bit of a red flag.
Yeah, listen, I think that like we're all out here making money and working. Yeah, you and I can't say it enough. Yeah. I don't think anybody owes us anything. I think the longer we do the podcast, the more I feel like I would really like to split the bill with somebody. I don't feel like they owe me anything. But if they bring up that it's because of equality, we've crossed the line.
I think that's a red flag for sure. Okay.
Always makes himself the victim when talking to other girls about their exes.
So he's just always a victim. I mean, there's plenty of different types of guys that are always play the victim, but I feel like that is like a sign of it. Like he's the one that's always gotten heartbroken and all that his exes have been monsters and that kind of thing.
Okay, so hear me out. Fuck boys, all my exes are crazy.
Great, yes.
That's the term. Soft boys, all my exes, I was a victim. They were mean to me.
They broke my heart.
Yes, they were
I'm
really
so tender. Yes.
Okay, so that's the differentiator. Yes. Okay. Where's the future? Where's the future is female shirt and then tells me I'm a tease.
Insane.
That's what I think we see a lot. You know what it reminded me of is whatever, I'll say it on the show, when we had Noah Neiman on the show like 4 years ago, and he was talking about like Me Too and how he like supports women, and then he told the whole studio that I jerked him off when I was in 8th grade.
Which you did, right?
I mean, I did do.
Oh, that's right, you did.
Oh yeah, I definitely did it.
And then he took his shirt off in the studio. People were working. It was like a tech startup space.
Can you?
His shirt was off.
You guys imagine this? There was like dozens of people, and he was walking around with his shirt up. He's a workout person, but this is exactly what it is. I look out for guys that try to talk about like women's rights and equality, and then they act like sexually like an asshole.
Oh my God, yeah. I mean, nothing turns me on more than like a guy that's vocal about like women's rights and stuff, but there feels like there's a line. There feels like where they go, it's too much. They're too extra with it. This isn't that they're like at the women's march or anything, but because there's plenty of guys that aren't soft boys go to the women's march, but like it just, I don't know how to explain it. The last thing I want is to come across and like discourage guys from doing this, because I think it's incredible. You know, we need men to back us up, just like, you know, it's the same as like a racial movement. Like we all need to be in this together. You know what I mean? But sometimes it feels like you're going too hard, and then behind closed doors, you're like, yeah, you're going to call someone a cock tease, but you're wearing a futurist female lingua franca embroidered sweater.
It just feels manufactured.
Yes.
It feels like you're saying it because you heard these buzzwords and you know it's the right way to be. And ambiguously, you care about women's rights, but me sitting in front of you, you don't care about respecting me.
Yeah.
The person that's actually here.
Yeah.
And like, listen, it starts with me. It starts with you treating me nice.
Right.
You caring about women's rights.
Yeah. He's like posting about abortion rights. Meanwhile, he's like taking his condom off when you're fucking, which is an assault.
What's it called?
Stealthing.
Bella and Ashley talking about that word.
We're going to, with someone email us, we might do an episode about it. It's a terrible thing. Okay, next one. Obsessed with their mothers. This can be a fuckboy too. This is not that you love your mom. Like we've talked about this before. Like if a guy is like the only woman he's like respects in his life is his mom, you know, it's like they're a little too much.
Hard.
They just want to show you that they love women, but it's only one.
It's only one, and they go so hard for their moms, and it feels weird. Like any of these things, it's funny because like all of these things are good things. Care about women's rights, care about your mom.
Yes.
Just, when it feels like it's fucking bullshit or it's too much, it probably is.
Yeah.
Okay. I can make you a handcrafted multicolored ravioli at my place, then fucks you into a new dimension, boys.
I don't know how I feel about this. Like, because I think again, if it feels off, then it's the thing. But a guy, there are guys that like have that sensitive side. I mean, your ex, like sensitive guy, he's sitting around drawing, and then can fuck. You know what I mean?
Did she just describe Kane? This guy sounds great.
Oh, did she just describe Kane? I was like, I did. You come in, he's like coloring, and then he's just gonna like dick you down.
Yeah, he built a movie theater in his house for me once. So it was very sweet. And I like sucked his dick like 3 times. This is great.
Yeah. So sometimes like some of the stuff on paper for him would fall into this, but he just isn't. He's an authentic guy. That's like how he is. You know what I mean? It's the whole fact of like it not feeling authentic. Okay, douchebags who cover up their misogyny with poorly painted fingernails and smudged eyeliner. She's making fun of how they paint their nails.
She's a little honey.
That's a little honey.
Fun of honey.
I also don't. Again, it's not about the nails. It's not about the eyeliner. It's a cover up.
Yep, it's just
misogynist. Yes,
those skinny arms. Okay, claims to be a feminist, but is actually super misogynistic and will slut shame you.
Oh, yikes.
So here's like a situation that I saw happen to somebody that I know. She was dating somebody, and I think that he like really hammered her on like opening up her mind about monogamy and femininity and what relationships look like. And he like wouldn't stop, I mean, for like a long period of time about like changing the way she saw the world. And he was just doing it so he could fuck other girls. Yeah. So like if it feels like somebody is doing this because they want you to come around to a certain way of thinking for their own benefit, that's what it is. Like this whole like I support women and I think that we should open our minds up, but really I'm just going to use this to like cheat on you and sleep with other people. Fuck that.
Like take your money and you know all this stuff. Okay. A skinny little bitch boy. Okay, hear me out. Are soft boys ever jacked?
I can't imagine it. No.
However, sometimes there are like really jacked guys that are like really sensitive on the inside, but they're not soft boys. They just are like, you know what I mean? Like I'm thinking of a friend of mine that's like, he's super jacked. He's like bald. He kind of looks scary, but he's like so sensitive and sweet, but he's not a soft boy.
Yeah, I guess you could look a little more jacked on the outside. It's mostly a way, it's physicality is the way you just see it first.
Yeah.
Just always be on alert, guys.
Yes. I
told him he was too sensitive, and then he cussed me out for 3 days through text. This came up a lot in that Instagram account. It's called Beam Me Up Soft Boy. If you guys want to see just like conversations that look like this. But yeah, it's a lot of guys being like really emo and then you're just ignoring them and they're like, well, fuck you anyways.
Yes.
I don't care about you.
Yeah,
It's
exactly.
Like, how did this turn?
Someone just wrote a sensitive fuck boy. That's kind of what it is.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Fancy. Okay, we'll unpack this. Daily OOTD mirror pics. Outfit of the day mirror pics. To me, this is just like, it just sounds like an influencer guy. It could be, it could go along with fuckboys. To me, like guys, I always say, like, if there's a guy that has an Instagram pic and he's just looking off left into the distance at nothing, I don't want it. It's not my vibe.
I mean, any guy that just takes himself too seriously, which that is going to be, like, if a guy would post a photo and it's like a model shot and he's like looking off in the distance and it's like portrait and it looks gorgeous, like he better have a funny caption about how corny it is.
That's my guy.
Like, it better not be some Walt Whitman quote, you know?
For your 300 followers. Like, you better, like, be on Instagram as a model. There actually better be 500,000 followers. I don't know. It's not for me. It's not a vibe that's for me.
It's also totally fine if that's your vibe. Like, so many of these Bachelor-style people, like, they do stuff like that. But it's just not, you know, that's just not what I'm into. I'm a stand-up comedian. Like, I don't want anybody that takes themselves too seriously. My friends don't either, you know?
That is so true. And that's what that guy did to me. Tell me a joke. Ew. Does it crush though? It's like, you don't, I need someone exactly. It's going to like be a little more playful with themselves.
Yeah, exactly. Okay. When they won't pull my hair while hitting it from the back because of respect. I mean, it's not, listen.
Because of equality.
Well, some guys don't feel comfortable doing stuff because they really just feel like it's disrespectful, and that's fine. Like, some guys, like, I don't want to hit you, I don't want to spank you, I don't want to choke you, but I don't know that that's a soft boy. That might just be a sensitive flower.
I do think that there are probably, and again, because we are raising men today, I think so much more to be more sensitive to what women want and to like feel out where the boundaries are, that yes, some men probably are afraid to do something like that. I think you can just communicate to somebody that I like this stuff. Like, I don't feel degraded when somebody calls me a slut. I love it. I feel upset when you don't.
But the soft boy would tell you, if you're like his girlfriend, he's not going to pull your hair hitting it from the back because of respect, but he's going to go like fuck a hooker and spit on her.
Yes. Also, I don't want to be told what is respectful to be. I feel perfectly respected even if you call me a slut because you feel respectful to me outside of the bedroom.
Yeah.
So to me, that's just about like drawing sexual boundaries with somebody.
Okay, the next one is controversial. I don't know. I don't know that I agree.
I don't agree.
Someone wrote Clayton the Bachelor. He's more of that like jacked guy that's like sensitive inside that I was talking about. Like, he's like, seems, I don't know, we don't know him well enough. Someone said we were giving him too much credit. He seems a little bit like a marshmallow on the inside. He doesn't seem like the smartest guy. You know what I mean?
Nothing about him feels calculated. Yeah, he feels nice and conservative and Christian and just like a little basic.
Yeah, he's basic. I don't know that he's a soft boy. It doesn't. I'm trying to think of a Bachelor or anybody that's been on the show that's a soft boy. That guy Brendan. But he was kind of just more of a fuck boy.
Yeah, like, to me, a soft boy is more calculated. There's nothing about Clayton that is calculated at all. He just seems like a nice, sweet guy.
I don't think
Middle
he's
America
intelligent enough to
think of it,
manipulate anybody. You see what you get.
I mean, you saw the first premiere trailer. He's admits to everybody he fucked all of them. He's not even smart enough to lie.
Like, one thing about me, I'm gonna be fucking.
Would not choke me in bed. Same thing as the hair pulling thing. I mean, again,
but some people just aren't comfortable.
Yeah,
it's if they were telling you they're not choking you because they respect you, but they're gonna choke the next girl that they, you know, or you know what I mean. Mm-hmm. It's just weird when it's an act. Okay, cry when they break up with you after they cheated.
That's it. That's the one. This is a soft boy. This is someone that's just like very sad. They couldn't believe they could have done this to you.
However, I also see like you're in a long-term relationship with somebody and they cheated on you and they feel terrible and they're remorseful and they're crying. You know what I mean? Like, you're gonna know if it like feels fake.
I just think you should say to yourself, like, gut check yourself. How does this feel? Does this feel honest and genuine? Like, yeah, I agree with you. I think plenty of people can cheat and feel really remorseful and terrible. And Ashley and I have very open views about cheating. I don't believe once a cheater, always a cheater. I think that there's a lot of layers to this. But yeah, someone is crying and trying to make you feel bad.
Yeah, that's what it is. Mm-hmm. Yes, like somehow they did something terrible and all of a sudden they're the victim. What? It's the total manipulation. Okay, this next one, she says, at Ashley, the guy whose voice changes when a dog enters the room. That doesn't have to be. plenty of people have a dog voice.
Everybody has a dog voice. Ash's whole family has dog voices, and it's adorable.
It can be a little bit of a turnoff when a guy gets too, I don't know how to describe it, too high pitched, too like baby voice with a dog. You know what I mean? Like I'm thinking of my brother. He doesn't have some like baby talk voice with Reggie. You know what I mean?
This doesn't track as manipulative to me. Every one of these things is be manipulative towards you.
It just came up, so let's talk about it.
Yeah, I mean,
we're in the car. What else are we doing?
Literally, what else? Bella, how you doing?
What's our ETA?
You're doing great.
We have 30 more minutes.
Oh,
that's it?
Wow.
Okay. You're killing it. Well, you're killing it, Bella. Good job.
Yeah.
Yeah, all of these things you say to yourself, is this being used to manipulate me? The dog voice, no, it's adorable.
Well, but I'm saying too much. I'm
just not attracted to it.
Yeah.
But I don't think that they're a soft boy. I just think they're weird.
All right. Someone sent Timothy Chalamet sends a lot of emojis while texting. That could go either way.
Bella says it tracks. But Bella said just a crying emoji. They said a lot of the crying emoji. I send a lot of emojis. I'm not a soft boy. Okay. Sorry, I'm not good enough for just actually talking through something. I guess this I'm a victim, poor me kind of stuff. Drives a Prius.
That does not have to mean.
Not at all.
Anybody can drive a Prius.
Ask you your favorite book so they can tell you that there's a Sapiens. That's literally every man on earth. Sorry, girls. that we can apply this to literally every person alive.
God. Except for Clayton. He definitely can't read. All right. Boys who get upset if you don't text good morning and good night every fucking day. Bella, is that a thing?
Well, she said yes, but listen, I'm a soft boy, okay? I'm going to come out as a soft boy, and I love it.
What do you mean? They get mad? They're like, you didn't say good morning to me?
No, I mean, I love it when somebody says good night to me and says good morning to me. I love it. I, live for it.
I love it, too, but, they get mad if you don't do it?
Oh, I don't know. I get disappointed if somebody doesn't do it. I wouldn't verbalize that I was mad, but I might bring it up.
I'm a
soft boy. And then when you borrow a boy's sweatshirt and it doesn't fit because he's basically malnourished.
I mean,
well, honey. All the K-pop guys.
That's my bar. It's what's a guy's body type? I have to be able to wear a sweatshirt. It should be big on me. If I put on a man's sweatshirt, it's just a tight crop. What?
If I see your arm cuddling me and your arm is thinner than mine, out.
I mean, again, that's just the preference of what you find attractive. Some people really want a really thin guy, and there's nothing wrong with that.
No.
And some people want a thin guy, thin girl, bigger guy, bigger girl, whatever.
Yeah, listen, you guys know, let's take this with a grain of salt. We're not shitting on body types, the way people feel. It's just,
I like big arms. I'll say it. I'll come out. I don't want noodle arms.
I love a big back. I want a huge
back muscles.
Back.
I have back muscles. You better have them too.
You do a back muscle. So that's probably my favorite part of a man's body is his back. I love a broad back.
Broad. Yeah, just broad. Because I don't, you know me. I'm not. I would prefer somebody that's bigger than me, but I'm not so crazy about height. I will date a guy that's my height. If they're I want them to be a little bigger. You know what I mean?
Absolutely.
Or on the red carpet.
Yeah.
I'll be taller in heels, but
taller or equal height?
I mean, if we're same height, flat foot, I'm going to be taller in heels, but I want him to be like Channing Tatum.
Yes, me too.
You know,
right. That's the goal. I feel you. That's what I'm trying to fuck. Guys, just listen. Be aware of weaponized wokeness and people trying to manipulate you. And if it feels like it's not genuine, it probably isn't.
Think of. Can you picture them after having some sensitive conversation where you connect with them so much? Can you picture them walking away laughing tricked her, you know?
Yes, 100%. I think that sometimes it's a little harder to spot it, but once you start feeling this is fucking bullshit.
I mean, that's the whole point of today is just beware.
Yes.
Beware the soft boy.
Listen, just beware of everyone all the time. Fuck boys, soft boys. Just stay on high alert.
Yeah. Okay, we have some emails we wanted to read of people's experiences with soft boys.
Yeah, do you want to start?
Okay. Email 1, she says, my freshman year of college, I dated this senior, scandalous. Actually, he was an RA in my building and we almost got in trouble. And he was ... very in tune with his emotions. He was a music major, so I hope that helps to explain that. Anyway, we dated for a month and then he decided to end things. Let me set the scene. He texts me, hey, we need to talk. I walk down to his dorm room. He tells me to take a seat on the futon while he sits in his desk chair. He starts to say, I've had so much fun with you, and then stops and goes, wait. Proceeds to turn around, open his computer,
Together launched Spotify and then plays To Build a Home by the Cinematic Orchestra on loop while he explained that we couldn't be together anymore. It was a roller coaster and I can't hear that song without laughing now.
He harmonized your breakup.
He did a score while he dumped you.
That is so funny. He was like, she can't handle it unless I play a soundtrack.
It just feels like he's performing. He's like, it's performative. Like I want to.
That's the word. Yes.
I'm like playing a character. I'm going to break up with you. I need music to be in the background. Who thinks like that?
And he's just like, you're so delicate. You can't handle this. Let me play something like soft and harmonious to soften the blow.
I don't think that's it. I think he was like,
you think he's a character? He's making
I think
energy.
Yes. He's like, I am going to make this breakup cinematic. It has nothing to do with her and her feelings.
Okay, I think you're right.
Like he's like, I want to remember this as a great performance by me.
I think you're right. Okay. She said, my ex was the softest. He used to get really drunk and then cry about how much he loved his family and friends. We're talking pouty lips, swollen face cry.
Kim Kardashian cry face.
And would FaceTime them to tell them he cared about them. While it was endearing, it definitely got in the way of our sex life sometimes. Anyways, we broke up because he was emotionally unavailable. Shocker. So that's interesting that he would like be so in his feels about how incredible and amazing like the life he built is. But then he like wouldn't give you anything emotionally.
Yeah, it's interesting. Like, listen, I'm emotional about my friends and my family too, you know, and especially if he's experienced any loss, like he gets choked up. But like the fact that she's saying it got in the way of the sex life, like he's, I got to call my mom and cry real quick before I penetrate you. Like, what are we talking about? And then he couldn't be available to her. Like, that's kind of...
It feels manufactured again. It feels like I'm just going to tell you about all these things that are so deep in me, but I'm not going to give you this.
Yes. I mean, that is part of it. Like, these soft boys want you to think that they are like so sensitive and deep and they have these deep connections. Like they want to come across as this person who has a bunch of love and light in their life, but they don't. I mean, it's, yeah.
That's exactly what it is though. It's they have painted this picture of them being a certain way to like get you to like them, but they like won't afford you the same kindness like once you're in.
Yeah.
It's very strange.
Yeah. It's kind of narcissistic.
It is.
Yeah. Okay, so here's another one. She says, we had worked together for years, became really close friends, and we ended up fucking around and finding out with each other. AKA, we fucked a lot, and he led me on. He called himself a soft boy. It sort of came across as one at first glance, and it's why we started seeing each other and why I developed feelings for him. Eventually, I told him, and he said that telling me was very brave and for me to never be afraid to tell someone I like them again in the future. Now he's dating my ex-best friend, who I had known since preschool, and she and I are no longer friends. Oh, my God.
I love that he commended her for her bravery, and he's like, "Oh no, I'm not attracted to you. I'm just proud of you. I'm gonna ruin your friendship."
Preschool,
That is crazy.
Yeah.
Okay, and then finally, I was on a second date with this guy and was discussing my parents' divorce. Nothing out of the ordinary, sad divorce. His face got all red, and he excused himself to the bathroom and came back sniffling and tearful. When I asked him what's wrong, he said he had something in his eye, but it was clear he was crying. No shade, but shouldn't I be the one crying? I mean, listen, the story made me laugh. I mean, it could just be that like his parents had a bad divorce or he felt bad for you. I will cry when somebody I love is going through something terrible. Like, I mean, I still remember some of the worst phone calls when like my people I love have called me to say somebody died, somebody was splitting up. Like my friend called me, she was breaking up with someone. I started crying. But this person doesn't know you really. It's a second date.
Oh,
so
yes,
for them to have this type of emotional reaction feels again kind of manufactured.
We need more context if he like ended up ghosting or he turned out to be a fuckboy, because he might have just been like dealing with something. I don't like when I'm like super emotional. I cry a lot, but I try not to, like, when a friend or somebody I care about is telling me something that's like really hard, like the hard that they went through or something they're going through, like I will feel myself start to cry, but I try to reel it in, because the second you start crying, it becomes more about you. Like, you know what I mean? And then they're feeling they have to console you while it's just a weird thing. You know what I mean? Like, I'll feel like, oh my God, I'm doing it. It's happening. My eyes are filling up with tears. Like, I feel like we've had so many conversations. I've had so many conversations with even like exes and my brother and people I care about. And I'm like, don't start crying, Ashley, because then all of a sudden they feel bad for me when they're the one that was hurting in the first place. So I don't know.
Like Charlotte, they made Charlotte that character that's crying over what happened to Karen. I mean, listen, I feel things really deeply. I think that is what love is truly. If you ask me to define love, it's that like your pain is my pain. And when something affects you very deeply, it affects me very deeply. And I feel that on a deep level with my good friends. But yeah, my friend called me, told me her boyfriend broke up with her. And like, I felt it in my throat. And like, I was just like, I'm so sorry. And like my voice cracked and then I just like reeled it back in. Yeah, I'm just trying to make it about me. Like, but when you're really upset about something, of course it like gets me and it's horrible for me. But I think that when somebody calls you and they're in a point of weakness, that they're calling you for strength.
Yes, exactly. Like I just, and you know, there's some things that are just so much like a parent dying. You're just going to sit there, you're going to cry together, you know, but one of my best friends, her dog died and she called me and like, I felt all my trauma coming up from Dewey too. And I was like, don't do it, Ashley. Like, don't start crying. You know what I mean? I need to be strong for her.
This is like a whole other episode. We'll do another one.
Okay. Well, that concludes our soft boy discussion and we're in the car. We're talking shit. We still have some time left.
We have some funny emails
on this episode. And we just have gotten some emails recently that I just have found so funny and the subject lines are funny and we're each going to do one. Okay. So this one really got me and I just thought we would unpack it here. You know, we're on the road. We're almost there.
Yeah.
So, subject line, boys leaving boxers after a hookup. Is this a trend? So she writes, hey, Rain and Ashley, recently I had a guy spend the night at my place and the next day he left without his boxers. I told my best friend about this and she told me she had the same situation where a guy also left his boxers at her place. My friend and I discussed this and we can understand accidentally leaving something like your wallet or jewelry because you can leave without realizing you're missing those things. However, if you're leaving without your boxers, you clearly notice you don't have them on since you're going home commando, especially because both of these guys left in jeans.
We
were both genuinely confused as to why a guy would do this, and since the situation happened to both of us, is this a new trend? We would love to know if this has happened to other people and what the reason behind doing this is. I just know so many women are listening to this right now screaming like this happened to me. Like me too.
It feels purposeful.
I mean, we should have just crowdsourced some guys earlier because I don't really know the answer. I don't think this is happened to me. Like, yeah, you're dating somebody and they leave stuff at your house, but like, yes, you realize, to me, it feels like laziness. Like, they couldn't find them or they didn't feel like putting them on and they were cheap boxers and they have more at home. And they definitely knew though, because you put on, if you're not, you know, I never wear underwear, and I don't wear underwear with jeans, but I feel like a guy's dick against his jeans, he realizes like, oh, my boxers aren't on. Like,
I mean, the exact comparison is like, I would never ever go out into the world without a bra on. I have giant titty, well, not anymore, not as this episode has come out, but I have giant titties today and I would never go out into the world with my giant tits out without a bra. And it's a normal thing to say to a person, I can't find my bra. It's like, listen, I'll leave a sock behind. I don't care. You can keep my sock. I have billions more. A bra, I'm just like, I don't want to go out into the world without it. Like, that to me is like the boxers of like
100%. That's the comparison.
And
yes.
The jeans, your dick on jeans.
I know. It feels to me that it feels purposeful. Is this a soft boy thing?
It feels purposeful. It feels like a reason to call you.
Yeah.
Like, it's so normal to say to a person, I can't find my boxers. Can you help me look?
I mean, the leave behind is classic.
Have you ever left behind on purpose?
Not on purpose, because I don't know if I'm going to want to, you know, like, you don't know if you're going to get that back, because guys can be the worst. You know what I mean? I had a guy once mail me earrings.
I literally had a guy in Queens, right across the river, mail me my rings.
Oh my God. I was dating a guy once and he was like really funny. And I said to him, or he said something to me like, I'm going to forget something at your place tomorrow. We had like a date planned. I'll go back to my place. We were already hooking up. And he goes, I forget. He goes, I knew he really liked me. And he was trying to express that, like, I'm going to keep leaving stuff at your place so I have an excuse to keep hanging out with you. And he goes, I'm going to conveniently forget something at your apartment tomorrow. And I responded, yeah, forget to pull out, LOL. And he was like, Ashley, God damn it. It's like, you probably would. You just want to lock me down.
I love this line.
But I don't know. This is funny that it's her and her friend are experiencing this. It feels like they knew what they were doing. I don't know. I'm not a dude, but Raina has the perfect example. Like, I know if I put something on without a bra.
100%. I mean, I would want to know what the follow-up was. Like, did they reach back out to you after to get the box?
To get the box.
I mean, men are also lazy. Like, I can see a man just being like you said, bras are a lot more expensive than boxers.
Yes.
Boxers, I get a 6-pack from a Hanes Herway for, I don't know, they cost $18. Bras can be like $100.
This one time, I was wearing underwear at the time. I went through a phase where I was wearing it. And then I went back to not wearing it. But I left a thong, a like black lace thong at this guy's house. And it was not a guy, it was a drunken hookup. I didn't ever want to see him again. And I had a few black lace thongs at the time. And he texted me, hey, you left your underwear here. And I wrote back, is it La Perla? And he was like, I don't know. I was like, can you check? And he sent me a picture, and it was like some just Target brand. Like, it wasn't fancy. I said, you can toss them. Had they been La Perla, I probably would have been like, I'm going to need to get those.
I would drive across town.
Come over to Virginia Highland and pick them up.
100%. I'm driving across town for that. Otherwise, you put it in the trash. Save it as a memento, smell it, do whatever you want.
Like, I think he wanted to see me again, so he was like, I'd love to get your underwear back to you. I was like, throw it out.
That is the funniest text to send to a person. Like, you think you're like texting and you're like, what is my life? You're like, hey, you left your underwear here last night to a stranger.
What brand is it?
He was like, who did I take home last night? What brand is it? He's like, what if I told a guy he left his boxers at my house? And his response was, what brand is it?
He responds back, he's like, Massimo. I'm like, toss them.
Garbage. Trash. That is so funny. I would send somebody a video, like, just chucking it down the incinerator.
Lighting them on fire.
I got it.
Oh, you got it. Okay.
Okay. Next email. Can I masturbate to a coworker's Insta pic?
These subject lines are incredible.
I don't even need to read the email. The answer is yes.
The
but okay.
Incredible. Have you read this before?
Yes. She said, I'm a new listener. I've learned so much from you two. I'm an older woman in the divorce process, so I'm decades behind in dating and sex. Get out there, girl. Yes. I am totally into a coworker who is way too young for me. However, his Instagram posts are amazing. His thighs.
Oh, I love big thighs.
Tongue out emoji. I am going to hell if I masturbate to these pics. I would never let him know. It's all fantasy and I know it. I need an outside opinion. I am too embarrassed to tell my therapist. I hope I can come to your Dallas show. Okay. Listen, I'll masturbate to anything. I don't think it's like weird. I don't think it crossed the line. I think that like if completely unprompted, you told him that you masturbated to them, different.
Here's your permission. Masturbate away. I love thighs. There's a guy that I went out with a couple times. We made out. His thighs, whew, I would send you pictures of just his legs zoomed in. His legs are incredible.
They're insane.
I love when I don't like a guy that looks like a bodybuilder, but I do not like a guy that skips leg day. And if his thighs are kind of tight in his shorts, ooh,
Ashley loves.
I love a short. I love like a chubby on a big thigh.
I gotta see if you think this is attractive. I'm gonna have a follow-up question for you after this. I'm gonna show you something.
The guy that I met at the pool, I was like, his thighs look nice.
That guy was hot. Also, by the way, every guy that you work with has masturbated to the Instagram photos of every girl there. Yeah. So like, there's nothing to feel weird about. And also, like, I think it's even hotter because it's like it's a photo that's connected to this person who like and you can envision their voice a little bit.
Yeah, I mean, like anything else, don't do anything that's gonna be awkward for you. So I mean, if you start masturbating to this coworker's photos, you're like, I'm looking at him and I'm coming. Just know what's gonna happen, and there's nothing wrong with that. But I'm saying, like, do you want to see him in the break room and get wet? You know, like, do you want to have like a Pavlov's dog where you like start you're wet when you see him?
Okay, my jaw is like on the floor because this is like, I feel like, and maybe I've told you this before, it's on the show, but like, I maybe you're exactly like me. I'm exactly like this. If I masturbate to somebody, my brain goes, yes, that person made you come. It is so true. So like, I try to avoid masturbating to people that I'm never going to date, and also people that are my exes,
or people you'll see a lot,
like a lot. Yes, or somebody that like you and I talk to every day. Like, my brain just goes like, that person has made you come, and then you just keep going. Like, you envision all these scenarios that like could happen. Like, especially because it's like your break room or like the place to like in the conference room. You're looking at them during a meeting. You're like, you made me come this morning, betting me over this table. You are so right.
Yeah,
my brain just keeps saying it to me.
So let's just tell her, here's what's going to happen. Probably, I don't know. Everybody's different, but I had a sex dream about this guy who I'm not attracted to. He likes you. Like, you're not interested. I mean, whatever. It's not.
Who? You said it like I knew. Did I know you had a sex dream about him?
I told you, we just talk about so much. Like, just like you forgot. It wasn't even it's weird. It wasn't even a sex. He didn't penetrate me. Like, we just hooked up and I did get off. And this was weeks ago. You know, like if you have a fresh dream about somebody, then you would see them or you see them on social media. You're like, oh my gosh, like this has been weeks. And every time I see him on social media, I'm like, oh, it's weird. I'm just not attracted to him like that.
And so one of our good friends was telling me about a sexual experience with his girlfriend. And that night, not sexually at all, he was describing it to me and another friend of ours. Like, it was not coming on to me. And I had a sex dream about him that night, and it was so hot. And then I woke up and I felt so weird. I hated it.
So I think proceed with caution, but do it. I mean, I like her style talking about the thighs. Like, I like that she told us what the asset is that she's interested in.
Listen, there's plenty of things that I know are bad for me. I do them anyways. So,
all right, if she comes to Dallas tonight, I'm going to show her the picture of that guy and be like, here's some thighs for you. And he is a great kisser. His legs. Oh my God.
Oh, his whole body, honestly.
Yes, his whole body.
He's really sexy.
Yeah.
I also would never masturbate to anybody that Ashley liked, also for the same reason.
Wait, what?
Oh. this guy. I'm like, who's so hot? I like I said, I can't masturbate to exes. It's like very hard for me. And like if I had like a bad breakup with somebody, it's like my brain actually will not allow me to let them like pleasure me.
Well, if they fucked you over and you have a bad image of them, but I have exes that I'm fine with on good terms, or I don't hate them. Not that we're buddies, but like I'll think about like a hot hookup and masturbate to it. Like I'll conjure up that image.
Mm-hmm. Like I guess ex is a broad term. If it's somebody I just used to sleep with, like the waiter at the Cheesecake Factory who I would blow and he would call me good girl and stroke my hair, I still masturbate to that. But like an ex that is like a very recent ex that I was hurt by, I like can't do it. My brain won't let me do it.
I don't know if we ever answered this early at the top as we conclude this episode. Do you think you've ever dated a soft boy?
No, I don't. Like it's not something that I like relate to. I mean, you and I, we did sort of talk about it. I mean, I love somebody that skews a little bit feminine emotionally. The last boyfriend I had went to therapy a lot. I think that I told you, I think he's like emotionally brilliant, but it's genuine. Mm-hmm. So I don't ever feel like somebody's used that kind of thing to manipulate me.
Yeah, I think I can kind of like smell it out, and I certainly like guys that do like give off a more masculine. I mean, I like guys that look masculine, I guess, you know?
That look masculine. Yeah. I don't know. I feel like if you're using like this wokeness to manipulate me or this softness, I don't know, it's not attractive to me, and I think I see through it quickly.
Yeah.
So no, I don't think I ever have. But I mean, I think Gen Z has got to look out a little bit more. I think this is becoming more prevalent. It's an epidemic.
Yes, totally is. Bella agrees. Thank you for consulting on this episode, Bella. We'll have her on soon. We know you guys want her on.
We know you guys. We know you want it. Bella, anything else you want to add? She just flipped her hair.
Well, she said, like, as we were kind of discussing this episode, she thinks someone that she dated was soft, like came to her in the moment. She was like, oh my God, he was a soft boy.
But like the anger she said was interesting. You know, we said like somebody will be like so like soft and kind, and then they'll like flip on you like that. Yeah. So she dealt with that.
Yeah.
We've opened her mind. We changed Bella's whole life.
Yeah, we unlocked it from memory unlocked. All right, guys. Well, thanks for listening to this episode from the car.
Yeah, this was fun.
Yeah, this is fun. We do this. We're like cat and Nat. We just record from the car now because we have a bunch of kids. Kids were trying to escape.
This made the time to go. Can you imagine? Just get in the car. We're not moms anymore. This made the drive go really fast, and we'll catch you up next week on the breast reduction, Ashley's trip to California, and everything, and then we will be in California very soon.
Yes,
so grab those tickets.
Oh my gosh, yes, there's only a few left, if there are even any left at this point, and you guys can see where we have shows coming up, and if the tickets are left, there should be some in definitely Detroit, Indianapolis, Kansas City, St. Louis, and Pittsburgh. Pittsburgh's going quick, but grab those tickets, you guys. We cannot wait to see you. Those are going to be really fun shows, and you can follow us on Instagram at Girls Gotta Eat Podcast. I am Ash Hess on Instagram. Raina is Raina.Greenberg. Girls_Gotta Eat on Twitter and YouTube.com/Girls Gotta Eat, and we will see you next week from the studio.
Have a good week, guys.
Bye.